Hi everyone, James from Motorsport here, and you join me in my new home. I've actually moved house a few weeks ago, not long after Snetterton, hence there's been a bit of a delay in getting this video out onto YouTube. It's actually very cool. This is where I'm going to be shooting all my new content from. Haven't got any artwork on the walls yet. We do have a TV, which is makes it a very good boys' den. So yeah, looking forward to pimping this room out a little bit, and then we're going to pimp out the garage and turn that into an absolute dream garage. So stay tuned if you want to watch that develop over the next few months. So yeah, today's video is all about Snetterton, which was a really great race. Lots going on, very intense. Feel like I dropped about half a stone after that one. I was just absolutely roasting hot. The car was roasting hot. Everything just started melting. But yeah, really enjoyed it. And on to Donington next week, so stay tuned because there's going to be more and more action coming. So on to the race edit. So it's a rolling start at Snetterton. Start my timer. Not sure if the packer's actually gone yet, so I've got a bit of space to try and nail the throttle. Carl Chambers on the left there. Just going to hold my line through turn one. So much slower the first corner of the first lap than what you can carry through there on a hot lap. Again, just holding that same line through the first sequence of corners, you're guaranteed to always have cars out on the left, but it means you're going to be on the outside for turn 3. But going to try and fight this blue Clio all the way through, just try and get any positions I can. See what I can do on the brakes. A little bit better, so I'm going to try and go deep. The corner's quite wide here. Everyone kind of hugs the inside, so there's always a bit of scope to kind of carry the speed round and actually gain a position or two, which worked quite well. Try and focus on the white Civic, see if there's anything. I know it's going to be quicker in a straight line, but see if there's anything we can do in the corners or the braking perhaps on the first lap. It's got a little bit wide, so all I can do is try and sit in the slipstream, see how much I can keep up. Trainer cars behind me as well, so try to go in a little bit defensive end of the hanger straight just to make sure no one doesn't dive up the inside. And someone is up the inside of me there, it's the MG. But managed to hold on and get enough drive out of the corner through the bomb hole and hold the position, but it puts me back a bit from the cars up ahead. So probably up to the next lap or so here, still in the battle with the Civic. Or more fighting the cars behind me, to be honest. Having to go a bit defensive down the middle of the track, try and put them off going down the inside, try and force them on the outside, but the Civic brakes a little bit early for how deep I want to go on the brakes, which opens the corner up for the MG, which is exactly what I did on the first lap. So kind of swings and roundabouts. I kind of kept my nose in there just to try and put him off a little bit. It didn't work, so that's a position lost, unfortunately. All I can do now is try and keep up with him. As I know that this is a very similar paced car to mine, so it's a long race. I want to just try and stay in the game with it, hopefully take it on later on. Pick a braking point, be nice and smooth through here, get a good exit, cut that curb, use all the exit curb. Definitely need to carry a bit more speed through there. is this corner. Just a bit of a hold on for as long as you can, and then nail the throttle out of the final corner. Try and grab a bit of slipstream. So it's all spaced out a little bit here. I've got black Clio that's banzaiing up the inside, so I just let it go, make sure I've got the best exit and nail it on the exit, get the position back. But it's a pretty quick thing, that Clio, and I think it got me later on in that lap down the Hanger Straight. Back behind the Civic again, got a good view of the rear end of that one, Snetterton. Yeah, oh there goes the black Clio, yeah, it's absolutely rapid. Exits out of that corner have been pretty good actually. The limited slip diff definitely working. As long as you're smooth in the braking before the turn in, and you've got that grip, that confidence to put the throttle down, you get a very good launch out of there. But yeah, losing far too much time through there. Just not as confident in the grip. Stretch. So the Civic went a little bit wide, and that kind of made me hesitate a little bit on the throttle as to where we were going to end up meeting in the corner, so just trying to put a bit of pressure on it now. Just to hound him, see what I can do, but yeah, I don't really have the ultimate pace to get past him over the course of a lap. But yeah, that first corner is a double apex, and if you know you're approaching it much quicker than another car, you want to nail the throttle very early. But it's risky if another car is going to potentially be there halfway through or to the exit. So this is the pit stop, the now infamous pit stop. It's a 2-minute mandatory pit stop from pit entry to pit exit. I try and take a note of the time on my steering wheel on pit entry. Gary takes a stopwatch reading on his phone, and then we guess how long it's going to take to get down to the end of the pit lane, and we've totally guessed wrong. I can see myself rolling towards the pit exit line on about 1:50 something. You're not allowed to stop or hold up anyone behind you anyway, so I just keep going, and I know that it's going to have been under 2 minutes. And when I see Peter Parkin going past in his 306, who I know was so much further up the road before the pit stops, I know that we've made a bit of an error there, so I know there's going to be a penalty coming, but just trying to get my head down and focus on what battles I can have until the end of the race, and then whatever the penalty is, so be it. Lashing down outside. So now I'm trying to catch the MG again of Lee Webster. As I said, was hoping I'd be able to battle later on in the race, and this is just the start of what was a pretty hectic end to the race. Gave him a little wave. He gets past the 106. At that point I wasn't sure if the 106 was going to stay on the inside, so I just do a little switch, as I know I'll probably be out to outbrake him into turn 1. So yeah, just trying to nail every single apex here and get onto the back bumper of the MG. So he goes in a little bit defensive there, a little bit early. So that lets me catch up a little bit. Again, just every single corner, just being as smooth as possible, focusing more on the lap time at the moment than anything to do with any other cars, just qualifying laps as as they say in F1. Someone off. Don't know what happened to that car. Okay, so now we're ready to battle. Oh, but I've gone a bit wide there. Getting a bit excited already. 10th down in that sector. Kicking up the dust. He's under pressure. But it's a pretty quick. It's a quick car in a straight line. It's yeah. I can't necessarily just claw it in on the straights. It definitely has to be in the corners and braking. This is when I realised that my ESP switch is on. So if you watch my right hand, just I realised that the brakes felt very, very strange after that pit stop, and because the engine had cut off in the pit stop itself, the ESP automatically switches on, and we always try and remember it's not in eye view, but yeah, I realised at that point the ESP was back on. So this is on board with Lee down in the left, where he actually falls out of gear. I then take evasive action onto the grass. But if you look in the middle, we've then got Blue Clio, who's obviously got a great exit from compared to us two, and has gone through the middle. So one position gained, one position lost. So yeah, now I'm gone from the hunter to the hunted. So I have to go very, very defensive to make sure he doesn't fancy a lunge up the inside. Then we start catching the VW Golf, which I'm desperate to get by. He goes back onto the racing line, so I'm going to throw it up the inside. I was quite happy with that one. A little bit opportunistic. But the MG's already through, so the battle continues. Now it's a completely different game. Catching someone and then being hounded by someone is completely different, and you've just got to get it in your mind that you're going back to qualifying laps and not spending half a lap looking in your rearview mirror, because that's when you miss braking points. You miss. See, I've followed that Blue Clio into almost the same mistake he made. You can become transfixed on what's going on up ahead. So switching the footage back to Lee's view, he's obviously got a very, very good exit on the back straight. So all I can do at that point, can't wink around, I can just go defensive on the inside. I didn't see him do that, but yeah, much better on the brakes on that lap, so I was able to keep the position. But I know he's going to probably be able to continue the fight. Yeah, making sure you hit that inside apex. Screwed up the gears there. So not only did I put it in the wrong gear, I then put it in the wrong gear a second time, whilst I was consoling myself for the first one. So a little lesson learned there, which obviously put Lee right back on my tail. Yeah, it's frustrating missing the gear, but I realise you shouldn't start tapping your helmet and rubbing your forehead, because that just leads to more mistakes. Now it won't be long until I've got the fuel light on, so totally, well, you could say underfueled the car, definitely didn't get that quite right. I've also got the oil temperature is at the maximum, so the dashboard is starting to say stop. So I'm starting to try to manage the car as best as I could, trying to do some short shifts so it's not in the maximum revs. Yeah, trying to do some early braking zones, just anything I can do to just bring those temperatures down, bring that fuel use down, so that it's not not going to be risky on the last lap, but also trying to stay ahead of Lee Webster at the same time is very, very difficult. If I was just cruising around at the end, then it would have been a different story, but trying to do that whilst fighting, very difficult to do. But just about managed to find the right compromise between wasn't compromising my exit speeds, so I'd have full throttle and maximum rev gear changes coming out of the corners, but halfway down the straights I'd be in a higher gear much earlier than I would normally be, earlier braking zones, and just trying to keep more momentum through the corners rather than fully rely on lower gear acceleration basically. So yeah, the Civic got back past me again. I probably only got past that because I jumped the pit stop. But yeah, what can you do? So that's it, into the final corner now. Got enough fuel to just absolutely nail the throttle, nail every gear change. Lee Webster's just a couple of seconds behind me, although he had reeled me in on that last lap. And yeah, I was quite happy with that. We did end up getting what did we get? We got a 35-second penalty. So 30 seconds is the default for pit stop infringements, plus each second that you jumped in the pit stop, so 35 in total. That dropped me back 2 places, I believe, but overall I gained 2 places in the race. So I think I started 19th, finished 17th on the road. Obviously Lee and another guy jumped me in the race result, which is fine, but I think we were just happy to have such a great battle for so many laps, which is what it's all about. It's not about just the result and driving around on your own for 40 minutes. So yeah, really good. Car's been repaired. It's actually Donington Park this weekend, setting off tomorrow. Yeah, live to fight another day. See you on the next one.